What's up? This is Greg with Rooforia. This is your vlog that talks about everything roofing. And right now we are talking about roofing sales. We are talking about objections, and specifically one of the most common objections you will come across as a roofing salesperson going door to door, working insurance restoration. So, which is, storm restoration. So we are going to see this right here a lot. I need 3 estimates. So this pen doesn't work. Try this one. I need 3 estimates. So that's going to be their objection. That is how they're going to halt you in your process. That's how they are going to stop that pen from getting onto that line which is dotted and giving you their autograph. That line right there, right? So how do we stop that? How do we overcome that, right? It seems pretty cut and dried. They want 3 estimates. They don't trust you. They want to see what other people have to offer. Why should they just take your word for it? How can you overcome this? How do you get out of this? This is basically them saying, no, get out of my face. I'm going to talk to 2 other people, and I'm going to see what they have to say. That's what it seems like at first, right? So, first of all, what do you do when you disagree with a customer? Do you say, no, you're wrong? That's not how it goes. I can tell you how you're right, and I can back it up with documents. So I'm not, everybody's wrong sometimes. It's okay to be wrong. No, never do that. Never, ever, ever do that. Never tell somebody they're wrong. Never tell somebody they're wrong. Nobody wants to hear they're wrong. Nobody wants to hear that what they thought was not valid and not true. They don't want to hear it, at least not if you say it like that. If you say it like that, you are making an enemy. You are putting up a wall. They are not going to sign with you. You need to agree with them. Right? You need to validate their feelings, validate their thoughts, and then you flip it around on them and you bring your point of view into it, right? So you say something like, hey, that's smart, Mr. Homeowner. It's always a good idea to confer with more than one professional. That's why your agent may have suggested it. May have suggested it. Not, that's why your agent is requiring it. No, because it's not a requirement. And when you say that your agent may have suggested it, you are raising questions in their head because maybe they did hear it that you have to have 3 estimates, right? Maybe that's what they thought. But now, without telling them they're wrong, you're telling them that their agent may have suggested this. So it might be something that they think might be a good idea, but it's not required. And that's what you're implying with this without telling them they're wrong, right? Now, next you go, continuing, you say, insurance claims are a different animal in construction. And bid selection is actually counterintuitive, right? Most of the time when you're doing a bid selection, like me, I wouldn't take the cheapest guy. I don't want the cheapest guy. I mean, I feel like he's thirsty, like he's putting in such a number like that because he can't get any business, right? I also don't want the most expensive guy, right? He's either charging like that because he's got so much business that he's busy and he doesn't need the work. And in order for him to justify taking the work, he has to take a higher level, which he may be the best out there, but it also may take a long time. And really, maybe he's just better known than other guys, and so he's able to command that paycheck, right? So I want a guy that's middle ground because he knows that he doesn't have to get this business to eat, right? He knows his value, but he also isn't overcharging. He's charging a fair and reasonable price. And some are like mid-level, right? That's the way most people think about it when they think about it. And I'm going to tell you the truth. We do not want the people that want the cheapest bid. This is the way for us to screen them out. If somebody's looking for the cheapest bid, generally they're going to have a lot of complaints. They're going to look for every way to save money, and then that's going to take our margin down because we're going to have to concede and do less, which means we don't make the margins. If they don't get the ice and water shield and we don't make our 20% markup on that, and then whatever we're making on the installation, that's a lot of money we're losing because they're being cheap, right? So we don't necessarily want them. Now, so anyway, insurance claims are a different animal, and bid selection is actually counterintuitive. You want the highest bid. You already paid for the project with your premiums, right? So listen, right here what I'm doing is I'm telling them that this is not a free roof. Contrary to popular belief, an insurance claim is not a free roof. So we want to get that thought out of their head completely. Because when you put the word free in there, then they start, you give them an inch, take them out type of thing. Now they're starting to think, that's when they start to think about the whole deductible thing, right? And they're trying to get out of this. Or maybe they're trying to say, let's see if I can get some money back, right? So we've got to explain this stuff. This is the time to explain this stuff, right? This is when you say, well, what we do is, so you pay for your roof with your premiums, right? And, over the course of the mortgage of your house, you're going to definitely pay for this roof, maybe twice. but you'll probably only get one claim. This may be your one shot at it, right? So we're going to try and get you every dollar that you're supposed to get, but we don't want to get you $1 more. That's unethical. That's not the way how we do business. We do everything by the book, right? And you know, there's some contractors, this one you can throw this in there. There's some contractors who go out here and they are bottom feeders. They're the guys that really can't get business any other way, and they go and they try to eat people's deductible. And they actually commit a crime, and they get the homeowners to commit that crime with them unknowingly. And it's crazy because they put them in such a horrible position by actually allowing them to engage in criminal activity because they want to save a couple of bucks. And really, legally, all they're doing is lying and committing fraud. And that's just not something that we do, right? And so luckily, you're talking to me, somebody that has integrity and a company that's going to do what they're supposed to. And we're going to follow building codes. We're going to follow the law. We're going to do everything we're supposed to do. And we're going to get you a great roof. Right? And so now that you put that out there, right? You're letting them understand. Now you say, now you want the highest bid because here's the thing. The insurance company is not in the business of giving money away. So they're only going to give exactly what is required. And they're going to make me prove every single thing that's required on there before they concede. Even though they know what goes on there, if a contractor doesn't really know what they're doing and they don't write a good scope or they don't investigate and compare what the adjuster wrote and they're not able to add this extra stuff, well then, either you don't get the stuff done correctly on your house or the contractor cuts corners because he didn't include this stuff. And so now he's not able to put it on there because there's no money in there for it. You've got a lot of problems when the guys don't know what they're doing. But see, there's also other stuff. Like I wouldn't put a bidet on your roof in the estimating software because there's no bidet on your roof, right? Some guys are going to put all kinds of stuff, painted box vents, stuff that's not actually on your house to try to inflate that. So that's where a bid could be higher than mine. But mine is going to be the highest legitimate bid. And if anybody comes close, they may match me if we use the same software. But I'm going to have everything included that's required and supposed to go on this roof. And then I'm going to get everything, as much as I can out of that, approved for you, right? And so that is how you approach all that, right? So then you say, but here's the beautiful thing. Since you already paid for this roof, but you paid for it, you're gambling. Basically, you're gambling on whether you're going to get somebody, you're going to cut a contractor that really knows what they're doing, and this is when you use your NLP and you say, and you know, when you picture this contractor that you know that you can trust, that's really going to get the job done, and that's going to make you really happy with the outcome you receive, when you see this contractor standing right in front of you, you know that you just have to sign it, and you know that you got to do it right now, right? And you're using subtle commands and suggestions and imagery and your cues, giving them cues. I mean, you're doing all this stuff that's NLP, but you are getting them to feel safe and then comfortable with you. But then you tell them, listen, all right, back to the script. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what my bid is. Now, whoever you end up working with, whichever contractor that you choose to represent you and to work with you as your GC, working hand in hand with the adjuster, whichever contractor you choose, right, they will be working back and forth with the adjuster. So whatever the first estimate is that they send in, if they even send one in, and whatever estimate the insurance adjuster submits, we're going to compare those. And so all this stuff at the very beginning is not even going to be the same at the end anyway. It's going to come to an agreed upon scope. So you want someone that's knowledgeable and really knows what they're doing with this claims process and can have you taken care of. And again, you know, the pointing at myself type of deal when I'm telling them someone that they want, the contractor they want, right? But anyway, so then you say, we use the same estimating software as the insurance carriers do, or at least 85% of them use the same stuff we do, Xactimate, right? So we're not arguing, we're arguing scope, the scope of work, the exact details that it takes to get this job done. That's what we're arguing, not price. The price list gets updated every month. We don't ever touch the price. We just put the line items in, and it populates on its own based on what month it is and what region it is, right? So, therefore, Mr. Homeowner, I want to see if you've been paying attention. Let's say that they write up an estimate, and they say it's going to cost $10 million to replace your roof. How much of that do you got to put up? What deductible? That's right. What's $1,000? $1,000 for a $10 million project. That sounds like a pretty good deal, huh? Okay, now let's just say that they say that they're going to pay $10,000 to put your roof up. How much are you on the hook for? Let him answer. My deductible? That's right, $1,000. So really, would you rather have a $10 million product on your house or a $10,000 product on your house? If it's only going to cost you $1,000, it's all the same, right? So you want the best quality. You want to get the most you want to get the full benefits from your insurance claim, because you're not going to have a lot of these, right? And I tell you what, Mr. Homeowner, I tell all my friends, wait for a storm. If you've got a roof that needs replaced, call me first, have me take a look, let me investigate it and see if there's an applicable storm date, see if there's a reason that we can get this covered by insurance. Because I'm telling you, you probably can. A lot of people don't know they have that option. But anyway, so now that you've gotten this point, right? Now you've gotten to this point, now you do the close. So you've maybe already given your close and you come up with a suggestion, right? And so then you just go back to your, contingency. You're like, okay, well here, I just need your autograph right here. And I need you to print that out nice and neat for me so I can see what that is, because I know no one can read my autograph, right? And then just date it right there, right? Whatever you got to do, and then you lay it down, and then you wait for them to talk. You don't say a word, because the first person that speaks in a negotiation, once the gauntlet's laid down, the first person that speaks loses, right? I don't care if you have to sit there in an awkward dead silence for 5 minutes. You wait. Because the first person that talks shows their weakness, and the other person knows they have the advantage, right? And there's a sale no matter what. Are you selling the customer on signing this contract, or are they selling you on why they're not going to sign it? Okay? So, this is how you overcome this objection, right? This isn't precise, exact. There's a whole lot of more words I said that's not on the board, right? But this is the idea. This is where you want to go with that, right? Make them feel comfortable with you. Make them know that you are the man for the job or woman for the job. And that is how you overcome the 3 estimates objection.